Perception is an active process where the brain selects, builds, and combines information to create meaning. I've organized this mind map into 3 parts: attention, construction, and sensory crossover. First, attention. Attention is the process of focusing on certain information while ignoring other stimuli. Because our environment contains so much information to process at once, our brain has to filter it. Selective attention is the ability to focus on one stimulus and block out others. The example I have here is a person focusing on the book they're reading rather than the other person in the room who's playing with their dog, and also not focusing on the TV in the background. In saying this, our attention has limits. Inattentional blindness occurs when we fail to notice something clearly visible because our attention is directed elsewhere. So the famous gorilla suit experiment is where observers watching a basketball game failed to notice a person in a gorilla suit walking through the scene. Similarly, change blindness happens when we fail to notice changes in a scene. In this one here, we have a globe, which is the focus of the photo, and in the next frame, some people might not notice that the branch is missing here. Next is construction. Once something enters our attention, the brain begins constructing a perception. Feature detection refers to specialized neurons that respond to basic elements of a stimulus, such as edges, orientation, color, or movement, and these different features are processed separately in the brain. However, we do not experience colors, shapes, and motions floating independently. We see one complete object. So the challenge is how the brain combines these separately processed features into one single unified perception. This is called the binding problem. So the example I have here are these singular different colored rectangles, vertical and horizontal, and our eyes might translate this into like a plus sign type shape, and joining the 2 shapes together. The Thatcher effect demonstrates how perception depends on this construction process. When facial features like the eyes are flipped within an upright face, the distortion looks extreme, but when the entire face is upside down, the distortion becomes harder to detect. So this photo of Adele here, I won't show you the reversed photo because I find it disturbing, but as you can see, this looks quite normal, but if you look closely, the eyes are upside down. Finally, sensory crossover. Perception does not rely on just one sense at a time. The brain combines information across senses. Cross-modal processing is when different sensory systems interact to create one coherent perception. The McGurk effect is a classic example. When we see a mouth forming one sound but hear a different sound, our brain blends the 2 and we perceive a third sound. In some individuals, this interaction is even stronger. Synesthesia occurs when stimulation of one sense automatically triggers another, such as hearing music and seeing colors. And the last example I have is the rubber hand illusion. When a fake hand is stroked at the same time as a person's real hand, the brain can begin to feel ownership over the fake hand. This demonstrates how visual and tactile information are integrated to create our sense of body ownership.